line of best fit. So we did this lesson in class as a group. So I'm going to go through this very quickly, just so if you missed anything, you'll be able to see it or hear it again. But I'm not going to take very long with this. So a trend line is this red line here. It fits the data. It's my model so that I can predict things outside the data. And the line of best fit is the line that fits that data the best. It's closest to all of those data points. Okay. The residual is one way that we try to figure out our line of best fit, and that's these purple dotted lines here. Basically, it's the vertical distance from your point from the trend line. Okay. Least squares line. So we square the value of the residual, and we do that for a couple reasons, partly to make all of our values positive, but also so that points that are very far away count more against this being a good trend line, right? Because if it's really far away, when we square it, that value is even more, okay? So the least squares line, that is basically the number one way of finding your line of best fit, okay? And linear regression, that's the process that we use for that. All right. The correlation coefficient, that is a number between -1 and 1, and that just tells us how well this line fits our data. Okay. If it is exactly 1 or -1, it's saying that every single point is on our line. Okay. Our line goes through every point of our data. If it's closer to 0, then it tells us that there's very little correlation between our line and our data. Okay. And lastly is causation. Causation means that one variable is causing another to happen. Okay, it's directly influencing that change. Okay, concept 1, calculating residuals. To calculate a residual, you are just going to be counting the vertical distance between the point and the line. Okay, if you have it in graph form, I would just go and I would say this is 1, 2, 3 above my line, so this point has a residual of 3. Okay, this one is 2 below my line, so it has a residual of -2. All right. When you are given an equation and a table instead of a graph, you're basically just going to plug in your x value and see how far away it is from your y value. Okay, basically subtract it from your y value. So I have 2 times 2 plus 1 would be 5, and this is also 5, so my line goes right through this point, and the residual would equal 0. Okay, 2 times 4 plus 1 is 9. I have 9 and 8 on this point, so my residual would be a -1, because it is the y value of your point minus the y value of your trend line. Okay, so 8 minus 9, -1. All right, and you'd go on and on with that to find your residuals. Okay.